Welcome to another edition of Let's Play WWE 2015. The road to WrestleMania kicks off tonight with the Royal Rumble 2015. And not only is it the biggest pre-show we've ever had, it is one of the more anticipated nights in this series thus far. So without further ado and further delay, let's get this show underway. The pre-show kicks off with Renee Young and Byron and Corey on the pre-show team, welcoming us to the pre-show, welcoming us to Philadelphia and the Wells Fargo Center for Royal Rumble 2015. And now we jump in right to the first pre-show match of the night, as it is the Usos versus the Ascension in a rematch of a few weeks ago when the Ascension went up against the Usos and the Ascension were victorious. Now, the Usos up against the Ascension on the pre-show of the Rumble, and the Ascension go down. And now we move forward. It is Natty talking up her team's match tonight against the Primetime Players, which will be the main event of the pre-show, as Darren Young and Titus O'Neil go up against the reigning tag team champions, Cesaro and Tyson Kidd. But first, we also have Tyler Breeze up against Zack Ryder in the second of 3 pre-show matches tonight. But right after Tyler Breeze gets the win over Zack Ryder, Dolph Ziggler runs in. The two get into a heated confrontation, and Dolph finally gets his hands on Tyler Breeze, but security swarms the ring to break up the fight before both men can hurt each other. But for the first time since Tyler's attack on Dolph, Dolph finally gets some revenge on Tyler Breeze. But guarantee you this, it isn't as much as Dolph wanted. But either way, this is just the beginning of the feud between Dolph Ziggler and Tyler Breeze. And now we move forward with the main event of the pre-show, or the final pre-show match tonight, the WWE World Tag Team title match between Cesaro and Kidd go up against the Primetime Players, and Cesaro and Kidd are victorious over PTP. I just want to say this, that the reason why Cesaro and Kidd, this tag team title match, was on the pre-show and not the regular show, has to do with the fact that this was the least hyped match on the show. So instead of putting a match like Paige versus AJ or Kevin Owens versus John Cena on the pre-show, I put one of the matches that had the least amount of hype, or the match with the least amount of hype, like that one. But right after that one, we move to our first, or in this case second, of 5 title matches tonight, and our first new champion, as Dean Ambrose is victorious in the triple threat match against The Miz and Damian Sandow for the Intercontinental title, and Dean Ambrose walks out the new WWE Intercontinental Champion. So, for the first time since November, The Miz does not hold the Intercontinental title. His 2-month reign with the championship has come to an end. And now we move backstage on screen rather, with the Wyatt family cutting their typical promo. But they are talking about an apocalypse. Like every other Bray Wyatt promo, Wyatt has complete control. I will tell him this. Build up your match tonight against Daniel and Kane, and continue building the feud between you and Team Hell No. Because that's what the promo is supposed to do, just like that's what the video package is supposed to do. And I'd give Kane and Daniel the same thing, telling them, just build up the match. Say what you're going to do when you get in the ring with the Wyatts. Say you're not afraid of the Wyatts. Etc., etc., etc. Team Hell No defeats Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper. And you might ask why. Well, that's why. Because the Wyatts still have the numbers game. And the Wyatts take out the numbers game on Daniel Bryan and Kane, with Luke Harper and Eric Rowan taking care of Kane, and then joining Bray to take out Daniel Bryan. Now you might wonder, why the hell am I doing this feud? 2 reasons. Number 1, it's never happened before. And second, how do I know Daniel Bryan is 100%? Why should I invest a crap load of money into Daniel if I don't know that he is 100%? Until I can find out that Daniel is 100%, I'm putting him in where the risk is low. I'm not saying the risk is low against Bray Wyatt. I'm saying the risk is low because he's in a tag team with Kane. And it just so happens that the tag team with Kane puts him in a feud against the Wyatts. This is how the feud kicks off. There's a lot more to the feud than what meets the eye. And this feud is just beginning, and it ain't gonna end anytime soon. Now we move forward as John Cena talks about how no matter what Kevin Owens thinks, Cena is the face that runs the place, and the future needs to get past him. Now we move to a video package which highlights the feud thus far between Cena and Kevin Owens, which started back at TLC when I want to say a few weeks before TLC, when Kevin Owens debuted attacking John Cena, but I think it may have happened at TLC when Owens cost Cena the triple threat match to determine who faces Brock tonight, which also involved Randy, the eventual winner, and the new Intercontinental Champion, Dean Ambrose. As you can tell, much like he did in real life, the only difference is I had to make Owens cheat to win due to Cena not really wanting to put over Owens. But not only did Owens get put over, but Owens got put over via submission. Now we move to our next match, and it starts with the video package, and it builds up the feud that we've seen thus far between Paige and AJ, which also kicked off at TLC. But has increased and grown over the last month, and we see what has led us to a no disqualification match tonight, which is won by Paige after using the ropes for leverage to get the unfair leverage over AJ and get the win. So Paige gets the victory over AJ. 1, 2, 3. And the question is, what happens next in that feud, because I can tell you this much, it's far, far from over. Now we move forward as Lana talks about Rusev's match tonight against Rob Van Dam, and says Rusev will walk out the new United States champion, and with the ravishing Russian in tow. Because me and Rusev talked it out, and I told him I have never lost faith in him. It's just a matter of hard timing. And Rob Van Dam, you have gotten lucky thus far, but your luck runs out tonight, as Rusev will leave the new United States champion. And then Rusev cuts in, Rusev crash. And that's exactly what happens to a point, because Rusev defeats Rob Van Dam to win the WWE United States Championship following botched interference by Sheamus. That's right, Sheamus has not only returned to the WWE, but also cost Rob Van Dam his championship by helping Rusev. If you see the connection, you're darn right. This is the start of the formation of the League of Nations. And I'm aware that the League of Nations really didn't start forming until late last year. In real life, well, I don't have to follow what happened in real life, do I? Now we move on to the next part of the show, which is the next segment, where Vince McMahon makes his way to the ring and is holding up his end of the bargain. Because 2 weeks ago on Raw, Vince called out the Hacker to come face to face with him at the Royal Rumble to end these mind games, to finally have the Hacker be a man and stand up and say who he is and why he's here. So Vince calls him out, but nothing happens. No TV static, no nothing. The Hacker isn't here. But this does happen, with Mr. McMahon coming face to face with the person who he fired a month ago, and the man who hasn't been seen since, in Brad Maddox. But Brad Maddox makes his way to the ring and tells Vince, Vince, I got a message for you from the Hacker. What the hell are you doing in my ring? I fired you. I don't want to hear what you have to say. Because when I asked you who that Hacker was, you told me you didn't know. You told me you didn't know. And now, all of a sudden, not only are you showing up when you don't even work here anymore, but you are telling me in the last month you found out. Security! Get this son of a bitch out of my ring. And then Vince goes on to talk down to the Hacker and talk down to Brad Maddox, saying that the Hacker is a coward. He isn't special. He isn't cool. He is a coward because he didn't come face to face with Vince McMahon. And he wanted to keep playing the mind games. He wanted to keep playing with Vince's head and screwing with his company. But I will tell you this much, that the Hacker storyline is far, far from over, and you will be seeing the Hacker once again very soon. But now we move to the next match, and that is the WWE Divas title match between Mickie James and Natalya. And Mickie James is victorious in her first pay-per-view, her first pay-per-view match since she returned to the WWE, and she is the new WWE Divas Champion, defeating Natalya with a surprise roll-up. But following the match, Natalya walks over to Mickie James and, as a sign of respect, offers her hand, and the two competitors shake hands following a hard-fought match and one of the better Divas matches we've seen in recent memory. But much like Paige and AJ, things are far from over between Natalya and Mickie James. And now we move to another video package, and our last video package of the night, as we go back to TLC one more time, when Randy Orton won the #1 contender triple threat match to face Brock Lesnar tonight at the Royal Rumble for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And now, Randy Orton and Brock Lesnar come face to face, and Brock Lesnar defeats Randy Orton with the help of Seth Rollins, who cost Randy his title shot, who cost Randy his title opportunity via distraction. But it isn't without cost, because once Brock gets up and sees Seth Rollins in the ring, he hits Seth with an F5 and then takes out J&J Security for their troubles. And he ends up defeating Randy Orton anyway, after Ron Zapata ran in and took over as the referee to count the final 1, 2, 3. And now Randy Orton is after Seth Rollins, as both men are backstage. Well, following the match, we cut to a by the numbers, highlighting the Royal Rumble, Royal Rumble by the numbers, to build up the Rumble. Then we cut backstage with Randy Orton looking for Seth Rollins, and then he spots Seth Rollins, and then a chase begins. Seth was obviously prepared for this, and he runs to the parking lot and grabs his car and screeches off into the night. But Randy Orton, unwilling to give up, does the same thing. He grabs a car and chases after Seth Rollins, and now Seth and Randy are on a high-speed chase into the into the city of Philadelphia. But now we move forward, as this feud between Seth Rollins and Randy Orton is just beginning. But now we move forward to the 40-man Royal Rumble match, which featured some surprises like Bobby Lashley, like Just Incredible, like Sid Vicious, MVP, the world's most dangerous man, Ken Shamrock, Stevie Richards, Tommy Dreamer, a whole host of surprise Rumble participants. And as you can tell, the Final Four saw Big Show, Christian, and Chris Jericho, as well as the eventual winner, who I'll get to in a second. Christian got the most eliminations over the course of the match. The Big Show, coincidentally, was the final elimination, and Chris Jericho was the Iron Man of the match, staying in the match for the longest amount of time. And the winner of the Royal Rumble and will go to WrestleMania 31 to face Brock Lesnar is Roman Reigns. And you will see tomorrow night on Raw exactly why Roman Reigns won the Royal Rumble. Because Roman winning the Rumble sets me up for my plans later on in the year. You just haven't become aware of the plans just yet. As it was meant to be. Because you're not supposed to know future plans or the plans for SummerSlam when we're only at the Royal Rumble. Also, I just want to say that, much like WWE, this show was powered by the give me 1 second. Just picture this. Just picture it. The pyro's going off. Roman Reigns is in the ring. Of course, the boos all over because everybody knew Roman was going to win the Rumble. And it just so happened that Roman was able to be in the returning 40-man elimination match with Philadelphia's own ECW Originals in the match, which helped but also hurt the match. Because why? Roman won, and just like in real life, Big Show was the last elimination. But one of the positive things of the show is the Royal Rumble, the 2015. One thing I forgot to mention during the show was that the 2015 Royal Rumble was powered by ringwrap.com. One thing I forgot to mention during the show was that the WWE Royal Rumble, that the Royal Rumble 2015 was powered by ringrap.com. That is ringrap.com, which is your home for the ringrap. Times the charm. One thing I forgot to mention during the show is that the 2015 Royal Rumble was powered by ringrap.com, your source for pro wrestling, boxing, and MMA since 2009. And you would hear that from Michael Cole and his cohorts during the show with a graphic probably showing up before the Rumble and at the beginning of the show, also on the pre-show, as the poster for the Rumble would have powered by ringrap.com on it, sort of like you would see in real life. But that's the point. That would be, I'm doing this to make it seem more real. So, thank you to ringrap.com for letting me use their name. And remember, ringrap.com, your source for pro wrestling, boxing, and MMA since 2009. But, for now, that's it for the Royal Rumble. And the road to WrestleMania is underway. So, if you were planning on missing any episode between now and WrestleMania, that would be stupid, because the road to WrestleMania is going to be one you don't want to miss. So, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like or subscribe to the channel for more content just like this that you can only find right here at Wrestling Express. Till next time, later.